In the fading light of early evening, a world appears that is home to many small hominid communities. Not one people, not one tribe, but many groups scattered across valleys, forests, and open plains. Each community lived differently. Some built simple shelters from branches, others found protection in rocky overhangs, and some followed the seasons as wanderers. Their ways of life were different, yet all struggled to survive. Between some of these groups, cautious contact began to form. They traded furs for flint, meat for wooden spears. Through these exchanges, they learned from one another, new tools, new techniques, new ways to stay safe. But this fragile balance did not exist everywhere. But there were also other tribes. Groups that did not want to trade. Groups that took what they needed. They moved under the cover of twilight, watching other camps from a distance, searching for time. Trade between the groups became more diverse. They exchanged not only furs and flint, but also dried meat, plant fibers, resins, simple ornaments, and rare stones found only in certain regions. Some groups were skilled toolmakers, while others gathered herbs or produced long-lasting food. Through these exchanges, the first forms of trust emerged, and a network that helped many communities survive. What modern science knows about prehistoric trade? Modern science knows about prehistoric trade. New discoveries show that early hominids were exchanging materials over long distances as early as around 300,000 years ago. One example, in Kenya, colored pigments, dubbed paleo-crayons, were found that had originated 18 miles away, a much greater distance than humans typically traveled at the time. This demonstrates that an early network of exchange and transport already existed. Frühe Handelsgüter, Pigmente, Stein, Werkzeuge, die altesten bekannten Handelswaren, Farbpigmente, Schwarz, Rot, Feuerstein und Obsidian. Werkzeugmaterialien, Selten Stein aus entfernten Regionen. Diese Materialien wurden gezielt transportiert, oft über unwegsames Gelände. Researchers have discovered that similar stone tools appeared in distant regions at almost the same time, suggesting that knowledge spread quickly through contact between groups. Some of the earliest traded materials were colored pigments, which may have been used for body decoration, rituals, or marking territory, showing that early humans shared not only tools but also symbolic ideas. Archaeological evidence shows that some materials traveled more than 50 miles from their source, proving that early humans planned long journeys or exchanged goods through multiple groups. Scientists believe that trade helped create social bonds between distant groups, reducing the risk of isolation and increasing the chances of survival during harsh seasons. These early networks formed the first loose connections between communities, long before villages or permanent settlements existed, and they shaped the cultural landscape of early humanity. Some groups became known for specific skills, such as shaping stone blades or collecting rare minerals, which made them valuable partners in early trade networks. Researchers believe that groups also shared knowledge about edible plants, healing herbs, and dangerous species, helping each other survive in unfamiliar environments. Archaeological sites suggest that certain open areas served as neutral meeting points where groups could exchange goods without entering each other's territory. These interactions may have created the first simple social rules, such as respecting meeting places, avoiding conflict during trade, and signaling peaceful intentions. Besides the groups that traded peacefully, there were also other villages, rivals who refused any form of exchange. These communities did not seek cooperation. Instead, they watched others from a distance and waited for the right moment to take what they needed. Some rival groups rejected trade entirely and chose a different path. Instead of exchanging goods, they approached other villages with the intention of taking what they needed by force. These confrontations often began suddenly, driven by hunger, scarcity, or the desire to control valuable resources. As rival groups grew bolder, they began moving closer to the borders of other communities, searching for water, shelter, or hunting grounds. These quiet advances created tension, because every group understood that losing territory meant losing safety, food, and control over their future. As rival groups grew bolder, they began moving closer to the borders of other communities, searching for water, shelter, or hunting grounds. These quiet advances created tension, because every group understood that losing territory meant losing safety, food, and control over their future. As tensions increased, some groups began to position themselves near important paths, water sources, or areas rich in food. By simply being present, they signaled dominance and tried to influence who could enter or pass through these places. This quiet form of control allowed stronger groups to shape the movement of others without direct confrontation. In times of mounting tension, some groups approached others not with overt hostility, but with a silent yet unmistakable pressure. They drew closer in measured steps, observing every reaction and probing boundaries, without direct confrontation. These encounters were tense and unpredictable, marked by caution, uncertainty, and the desire to protect one's own community. Despite all tensions, there were moments when different groups discovered common ground. Sometimes it happened by chance, a shared shelter during a storm, a meeting at a river, or the simple need for warmth. When night fell and the cold grew stronger, some groups sat together near a fire, exchanging gestures, sounds, and small pieces of food. In these quiet moments, fear slowly faded, replaced by curiosity and the first signs of trust. From the first tentative encounters to the quiet moments by the fire, this film revealed just how complex the lives of early communities were. We watched as groups observed one another, tested boundaries, and strove to carve out their place in a constantly changing world. Mistrust, uncertainty, and the struggle for survival defined their daily lives. Yet we also witnessed how closeness could emerge from distance. As the nights grew cold and the wind swept across the plains, some groups sought shelter in the same caves or simple lean-tos. There, in the warm glow of a shared fire, they began to exchange gestures, share food, and listen to one another. Rivalry gave way to caution, caution to understanding, and understanding, finally, to the first traces of community. These moments served as a reminder that, even in a harsh world, cooperation was often the key to survival. Thank you for joining this journey into our distant past. If you enjoyed this episode, support the channel with a like, a comment, and a subscription. This helps the series grow and ensures you won't miss the next chapter. See you in the next episode.